So welcome everyone to another Keptn community meeting. We are pretty excited to have a lot of folks joining this time. And we have a lot of content also to share. So first of all, thanks everyone for participating in the CommunityBridge mentoring program. We received a lot of applications, really a lot of them. Thanks so much for all your interest. It was, most of them were really high quality applications, and we are still in the process of going through those applications. So we will make the decision and inform people with the normal procedure that is given, the normal timeline that is given by the, CNCF. So just make sure to watch the CNCF page and GitHub repository, because it's basically there. The mentees will be also announced there with the projects. So thanks a lot for all the contributions that we received here. We really appreciate that. Another part, if you want to start contributing to Keptn, we are also part of the Hacktoberfest. So we are going to label some issues with Hacktoberfest, so it's easier to find them. But also if some issues are not labeled with Hacktoberfest, you can still contribute. And we are also featured on the website contributing.today. So that means you will find a video there, a short video on Keptn. It's about 5 minutes, and we will explain a little bit what Keptn is, how you can contribute, which skills you should bring to contribute. So if you're interested, please check out contributing.today. They have their own virtual meetup tomorrow, October 2nd. But it doesn't mean you have to be there tomorrow, but you can still, the whole month of October is open for the Hacktoberfest, and we're happy to see your contributions. Then another thing, if you want to test Keptn and you don't want to spin up a full-fledged Kubernetes cluster on GCP or AWS or some other public clouds, there is a very interesting new Kubernetes distribution out there based on K3s, and it's from Civo, and Keptn is listed also in their marketplace. So it's a one-click installation of Keptn in the Civo marketplace. If you're interested, please take a look there. We are not affiliated with Civo in any other kind. It's just that we received the contribution from the Keptn community that lists us in this marketplace, and we are really happy to share this also back with the community. So if you are interested in, please take a look. Right now they have kind of a free trial month, or they will give away a couple of free credits. But as said, we are not affiliated with Civo. It's just to let you know.
I was just going to ask, there's a price involved as far as I can see, or is there any special deal that we can maybe, I don't know, ask them?
So right now there is no special deal if you're using Keptn, because as said, we are not affiliated with them. What you can do is sign up for, they call it Cube 100. And I did it as well. I got a free voucher for, I'm not sure about the whole thing, but it's enough to run a cluster for a whole month. What I'm doing is I kill the cluster at the end of the day and then start again, so I can really, I'm not even sure how much I've already used, but yeah.
That's interesting, nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing, so check it out. There will also be a webinar coming Wednesday where I'm invited from the Civo team, or to the Civo team, and I will just present this a little bit. If there is interest, I can also present this in maybe the next Keptn community meeting, but we just did a polishing of this marketplace integration. I was not sure if I can finish by today. So this was mostly from my side. I know we have a lot of new contributors to the meeting. I would just take a look here on the attendee list, and I will promote those also to panelists that will be needed to share something. So just watch out if you're promoted to panelists. Yeah, I think with this, I'm handing over. Again, if you are contributing during the month of October, you can be part of the Hacktoberfest, and they are giving away some swag. Again, we're also not affiliated with them, but it's just for you. It's a nice, maybe it's a nice gift if you want to do this. So with this, as I don't see David on the call, I'm already handing over to Supratik. Thanks so much for your contribution. And I'm stopping here my screen sharing. And if you want to go ahead and share your screen, you're most welcome.
Yeah, sure. So hi everyone. So what I was working on recently was the introduction of the Makefile. So previously the Makefile was empty; it didn't have any targets and all. And I will just share my screen here. So can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So the Makefile was empty, and what I did was to add certain commands to it. That was to build the CLI, to start the bridge, and format, lint, clean, and also some commands to one of the commands is to test to perform unit test on the CLI, and another one was to prepare the code for the PR. So these are all fairly simple. We just need to run the commands, and what they actually do, I will show you the code a bit. So the targets are somewhat like this. So the build CLI is a simple. It does a go build and sends the binary to a bin folder, right? And the start bridge, there is a certain script to start the bridge. It checks for the node dependencies and installs them and starts the Angular server. For the linting and all, I check whether golint is present and install golint and then perform the linting. Cleaning is also similar. For testing, like for testing, it runs a simple go test in the verbose mode, and currently it supports only testing for the CLI because rest of all are Kubernetes based, and some discussion is needed on how to include them in the Makefile currently. So currently only for the CLI it is present. And for prepare for PR, what it does, it first formats the code and then lints the code and then checks whether there are uncommitted files or not. So for example, let's say I want to lint the code. So I just type out make lint. It will install golint and it will lint. Since it was already linted, there wasn't any changes in the code. It did it. Okay, yeah, okay. There were some changes. So yeah, it lints the code and shows all the errors. And make format, it will format the code. And make prepare for PR, it will perform the lint format and check for uncommitted files.
A little part that could be improved here, because I just see all the errors that are turning up with our code. You can actually tell golint and gofumpt to only check for files that have been modified, similar to what you did with the git diff index command here. If you want, I'll comment that on the pull request, because then it will only check the files that are part of the pull request.
Yeah, sure. That would be, I guess, better, because it is truly overwhelming. So many, changes have been shown at once.
Yeah, also, we're not going to fix all the old errors anyway. They will be fixed when we touch the file.
Yeah, right. Cool. So this was it. I have another PR open, but it hasn't been reviewed, so I maybe present it in the next meeting. So do you have any questions for this?
Thanks, of course, for the pull request. And I think this is a good start for us, that we can extend the Makefile afterwards for integration tests and such.
Yeah.
And
sure.
we also had a contribution, or a contributor that tested, I think it was David, who isn't here, but he tested Keptn in Kind, so Kubernetes in Docker. That would probably be a very nice point for us then to extend the Makefile with Kind and have integration tests in Kind.
Yeah, sure. Like currently it only supports a CLI for everything, for like testing and all, unit tests and all. So after that we can extend it to all the services as well. It would be good.
All right, I'll add one more comment because of the font and lint story that I just told, and then we can accept this, I guess.
Sure.
All right,
Sure.
thank you.
Thanks for the contribution. Very cool.
Thank you.
Okay, so I guess we can hand over to Ankit, if I pronounce your name correctly, hopefully.
Yeah. Hi everyone, I'm Ankit. I'm currently working as a full-time DevOps engineer at SPEC. I'm from India. Thanks for inviting me to the community meeting. So recently, I've been working on Keptn CLI. I have made, let me share my screen. Sorry. Are you able to see, right? So recently I've raised 2 PRs, one for adding a feature to export endpoint and API token. So this is a feature request of this issue, Keptn CLI multiple contexts like kubeconfig. So this issue is currently promoted in CommunityBridge. So I haven't take over it completely. Like I've been picking some of the definitions of this issue, one of which is to introduce a command to export a current config, current API token and endpoint. So I'll show you right now. So this is the current version that we have, 0.7.1. When we use this, when we try to export the command, it shows no export flag is not found. So I have made a PR to add the support for export flag. So right now, if I, so it's currently my developed version of Keptn CLI. So if I run this command now, it will export the endpoint and API token that I can easily get it out from my Kubernetes secrets. But it's good to have a flag that can easily do the hard work for us. This is one of the issue that I raised a PR for. And the another one is there is a bug. I've created a comment issue itself. So there is a bug in like installing of Keptn control plane on Kubernetes cluster. So right now, when it checks for the cluster configuration, if you say if you didn't enter why, it keeps on asking you which it keeps on asking you infinite times. I'll show you. So if I say no, it will keep me asking this. If I won't enter anything, and it still keeps me asking. So this has been fixed in this current version. If I say no, it will stop the installation. So this is one of the bug that I have encountered while installing Keptn. These are two of the contributions so far that I made to Keptn CLI, and I'm still working on few of the issues that has been open recently and raised few PRs. Looking forward to contribute more to the organization and as well as to more of the CNCF projects. Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, any questions? No, I don't have any questions.
It's actually a funny story about the bug that you found. We must have recently introduced this because before 07, we asked the user to enter credentials for Google or AWS or whatever, and then you were asked if they are correct. And if you entered no, you could ask again and enter them again. So we've removed this functionality, and since we removed it, you end up in this infinite loop. So very nice catch. Also, thank you for bringing this up, writing an issue, writing a bug issue, in fact, and fixing it by yourself. That's a really nice contribution, or both things are really nice contributions.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you. I haven't updated the docs with the export flag. I'll make a PR for it as well.
Yeah, we will look at that, although not today.
Sure. Thank you.
All right. Who's next? Anukul. I hope I pronounced this correct.
Yeah, that is correct. So should I start?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Cool. So hi, I'm an undergraduate student in India. I just started contributing to the project. and I will start with the pull request I have open. I don't think I should go to one that is merged already, so I'll skip over that. I didn't get a chance to put them on the doc, so I'll pull them off a local document. So the first PR that I have open is regarding the issue where we want to print the version of the Keptn control plane in the cluster, like along with the CLI, we also want to print this. So in the beginning, I noticed that there was a function that I could use. I thought I could use this to fetch the version of the server. But then later I realized that after I noticed a comment on the issue that we should use the Swagger version, and then I realized that I cannot use this because like this function is called when you try to upgrade the Helm chart, and you can specify the namespace that you want to upgrade in the upgrade command, but you cannot specify that for the version command. So I've updated this to use the Swagger version, which is like we already have a function that retrieves that. So that's the state of this PR. If there's something to discuss, I can do it. Otherwise, I can move to the next one.
I think I'll have to take a look at it. Thanks for the changes that you made. That's actually a good catch that we don't support the namespace and that you changed it to the Swagger YAML. Because I was actually thinking, oh, if you can reuse this function, that's also great. But yeah, I'll take a look at the changes as soon as I can.
Thank you. The next one is a PR where I add this tool called Pluto, which parses the Kubernetes manifests and tells us if there are any deprecated API versions in use. In the beginning, I actually used a direct link to the archive, but then I thought that maybe we want to, we would have to change the direct link whenever there's a new version. But so I used Brew, but then now I think we would prefer to use the direct link, so I'll pull that back in.
Yeah, if you can install it directly, we do that for almost all our tools like Helm and kubectl. And for a CI script, that's absolutely fine.
Okay. Cool. So I will update this in some time today. The next one is there's an issue that says we should also be able to allow YAML URIs. Like if I want to use a shipyard configuration that is not on my local disk, I want to be able to say -- shipyard equals somewhere.yaml, like some website.yaml. And I have put this in, but then I'm not sure exactly how to determine whether the flag is a URL or a local path. So I use a package called GoValidator, but I mean, I'm introducing a new dependency here, so I'm not sure if this is the best way to go about this.
I think we'll have to take a look if the dependency is okay. Usually we're fine with new dependencies, but I think we should just take a second look. Also, I'm not that familiar with that dependency. Maybe Florian has more knowledge. So Florian, if I can hand over the PR for you to review, that would be nice.
Yeah, sure.
I spent some time trying to understand how to best do this, but apparently there's no clear solution how you tell whether a string is URI. There's a bunch of regexes, but I don't think they always work. So for now, I use dependency. Okay, I just had one quick question about this issue is not assigned to me, but I was just going through it before I decided whether I should get myself assigned. And a question I had about this is we want to print if any resources that the user is trying to onboard. So when the user is trying to onboard a service, they're providing a bunch of resources, right? We want them, according to the issue, we want them to use all the Kubernetes recommended labels in those resources. So I think part of this will go in the Kubernetes utils package. So the part that goes in the Kubernetes utils package is where we fetch all resources from the chart. And the part that we can possibly keep in Keptn is where we iterate over those resources and check if the labels are matching. So depending on what kind of information we want returned, what kind of information we want the user to see, I think that's probably a decision which we can use to split this between the two packages. like if it's just like we want to tell them that, you know, you don't have all the recommended labels in all resources, then maybe this can just go into Keptn and into Kubernetes utils.
I think we can discuss this on the issue as well.
Okay.
I think Andreas Grimmer will also have an opinion on that. But yeah, a good point. And I see you have a pull request for Kubernetes utils already. So yeah.
I use the approach where I put everything in Kubernetes utils, but then I realized we might want to tell the user that, you know, a specific label is missing in a specific resource. So I just put that on a draft until we discuss this.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Cool. I think with this, if there are no more questions, we are already handing over to Florian.
All right, thank you. Just give me a second. All right, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, today I have 3 pull requests to show you again. So let's start with the first one. So the requirement was to introduce a new endpoint within the API service, which allows to trigger an evaluation. And the reason behind that is first, previously this was done by using the generic /events endpoint of the API service, where you could send a complete start evaluation event, and that was a little bit complicated, and we wanted to make it easier to trigger an evaluation. And also it was kind of difficult to get immediate feedback, for example, regarding whether the project or the service or the stage you wanted to perform the evaluation for was actually here. So of course the Lighthouse service, as we've shown you in the last week, now also returns that information, but still you would need to fetch the evaluation done event containing this information. And therefore we have added this new endpoint, and let me just pull up the Swagger UI for the API service. And here we have included this new evaluation endpoint. So this is reachable on the project, stage, service, and evaluation. Of course, the project, stage, and service names are required parameters within the path. And the payload itself for the evaluation looks like this. So you can provide a start and an end time. That's the first option. Or what you can also do is just provide the start and a time frame. The time frame is, for example, basically the duration you want to evaluate the service for. So for example, if you wanted to look at your SLI values for the last 5 minutes, you provide the value of 5M to this endpoint. And of course, it's also possible to label your evaluation in order to have them show up in the bridge afterwards. And this is done by providing this labels property containing all the keys and values that you want to use for your evaluation. And we have also adapted the CLI to use this new endpoint. So let me just quickly pull up a terminal in order to show you the advantages of that. So here it is. Let's just clear it. And for example, one reason we did this, as I've previously described, for example, if you did a typo in the project name, for example, or the service, and you were afterwards wondering why you didn't get any evaluation results, it was necessary to get the evaluation done event and then see if the error message in that case told you if the service wasn't there, or the project or the stage. And now you get this immediately. So in my cluster, I have the project Dynatrace with the stage quality gate, and now I want to evaluate the service bridge, which isn't there. And as you can see, I now get immediate feedback telling me that the service doesn't exist. And for example, if I do the same for a service that actually does exist, I just have to look which one is there. So for example, I have the Lighthouse service within my project. Then I will get the ID of the Keptn event that was sent to the evaluation service. And then I can use this Keptn context ID to fetch the evaluation done events. All right, are there any questions about that pull request? Okay, if not, I will continue with the next PR. So this one was about fixing the current release branch pipeline. And yeah, let me just show you the pipeline here. As you can see, it's all green now again. And basically what was necessary to adapt was because of the changes I showed you earlier, we had to adapt the quality gates use case integration tests, because previously, if we did, for example, an evaluation for a project that wasn't there, we validated the use case by fetching the corresponding evaluation done event. And since no event is now sent out in that case, when we want to trigger an evaluation for a project that's not here yet, we got the immediate response from the API, and that needed to be accounted for in the integration test. And now that has been updated. Now it's green again. And one other thing that I stumbled upon today is when we tested micro Kubernetes in version 1.19, we stumbled upon a bug that caused the Helm installation to fail because of a connection refused error. And therefore, we have removed the tests for micro Kubernetes 1.19 for now. And we've also discovered that there already is a corresponding issue on the micro Kubernetes repository. So we'll keep an eye on that. And once that issue has been fixed, we will integrate those integration tests again. Any questions about that?
Well, David isn't here, but David basically introduced the 1.19 support. So David, if you're watching this afterwards, 1.19 works. It's really just that micro Kubernetes has a bug. So yeah. Johannes, we might have to update the docs about that if I just think about it.
That's true. Yeah, because right now we say that we support 1.19, but that's a good point and a good catch. We should
I mean,
make it clear.
Yeah, I mean, we do support it. It's a micro Kubernetes bug, but
True.
All right, let's finish with my third pull request. This was quite a small one. So if you recall the last meeting in the evaluation or in the Lighthouse service, we now also sent back a list of event IDs that were used to compare the evaluation results against. And that also had to be reflected in the SPEC, in the Keptn SPEC repository. And therefore I have updated the spec for the evaluation done event. And if you go through that specification now, you will see the compared events property within the evaluation details. And this is basically a string array containing all the event IDs that were used for the comparison. And maybe it's a little bit easier if we look at an example of that. So here's an example of an evaluation done event. And there you can see here we now have this compared event property that contains all the IDs. Any questions about that? All right, if not, I will hand over to Ermin.
Thank you very much. I'm going to present you 3 pull requests regarding enhancements in the bridge today. The first one is based on the one we saw right now from Florian. Now the bridge, or actually the heat map, will highlight also the compared events from an evaluation. So when you select an evaluation in the heat map, you will also see the ones that it was compared to, slightly highlighted with a dashed border. The next one, also regarding the heat map, is showing labels on the x-axis of the heat map. Previously, we had no details on the x-axis here, and now we show the time of this evaluation event on the x-axis, or if the build ID is provided as a label, so a label with the key build ID, then we use that value to show this on the x-axis. I will do a demo after I present my third pull request.
I mean, the pull request you just presented, you have a backboard for that as well. The backboard is failing with the unit tests.
Oh yeah, of course, we'll have a look at that. So I will have to check the backboard and also update the screenshots in the documentation as well. Is still on my to-do list. Thank you for that. And the third one is also about the evaluation tile. So we had a rework of the evaluation tile since actually that's that one. Since the information of the evaluation tile, when we have a look at the old one, was split here into 2 parts, and the heat map was like in between, and the result was not it was not all information was there provided. We have a enhancement now here, and okay, I don't have a screenshot here of the latest one, but that's the place where I can show you the demo of the improvement here. So as you can see in the bridge now, we have here an evaluation. You can also see the 3 evaluations it was compared to, slightly highlighted. When I click through the evaluations, you will see like this one was compared to that one on the most left side, since we just take the past ones for evaluation comparison. And yeah, when you scroll down, you can see here also on the x-axis the labels. In case that multiple evaluation done events have the same name in the build ID, or also they were executed at the very same time, then yeah, we will add, or the bridge will add here a count. And when you click through the heat map, you will see the result down here. So this is the evaluation tile rework, where you have the SLO, since that could also change in between here. So you can have a look at the SLO file, and you see the evaluation result with the score and also the limits for this comparison. So for example, if there is a pass limit, you can see that one. And also if there is a warning limit, then you would see also the pass and the warning limit. In case that it's in warning state, you would see both limits here. You see also the result, the evaluation time frame now with the duration. And you also have the info that this evaluation was compared with the last 3 past evaluations. This depends on your SLO configuration. Are there any questions?
Yeah, the text compared with the last 3 past evaluations, is that dynamic depending on whether you say include all results with pass or warning or pass or however? Like, this is a dynamically built string, I guess.
I have to check on that one, since I just saw when I click here, it should not say compared with last 3 past actually.
Yeah, because in this
I
case,
don't have any information. This will be taken from the SLO file, and it will say compared with 3 last past evaluations or just with the last 3 evaluations, so without the past, depending on the configuration. But of course, this count should consider the number of compared events in the list that is provided here. So as you can see, this evaluation had only 2 events that it was compared to. So it should say with the last 2 past actually.
I think it's okay the way it is. I think we should just rephrase it like, I don't know, target comparing with last 3 past or whatever evaluations. Because the target, that's the target that we aim for based on the SLO config.
That's it. Currently, it reflects the target. It's 3 past evaluations because the configuration is several results, including the past ones, and the number is 3. So here I take the information from.
Yeah, or you could use like what Florian has shown and what you have already shown last week. You have the compared event IDs in the payload.
Yeah, that's what I said. I could use the length of that one. So if I have here 2 elements or just 1 element in here, then I could say, yeah, it's just 1 evaluation compared with, but the information passed, or it could be also pass or warn, is depending on this configuration here in the SLO. So yeah, the number, the count could be adopted here.
Nice.
Okay.
Keeps looking better and better every time.
Yeah, improving and improving. Yeah, thank you very much. That's from my side. I'm handing over to Johannes.
All right. Actually, I don't have a PR or an issue to demonstrate because it's still in progress, or actually I had the first review of my improvement regarding the documentation about the quality gate. Andreas already got or provided feedback on that. I worked on it, and but it still takes a second round. This brings me now to the point that I will jump over to the working items. And here, let me close that one. Here we have a couple ready for review, but they were already discussed throughout this meeting. Except of that one, Florian, do you want to show us the polling for new services based on a Dynatrace tag the next time?
Yes, please, because currently it's in review and it's not been merged yet. But of course, I'm looking forward to show you this next week because it's a really cool feature.
Great. All right. And then hopefully Daniel will join the next meeting so that he also can show his contribution in regard to supporting Kubernetes 1.19. Ermin, should we pull back the evaluation tile rework as we now discussed that we want to slightly change the number?
Of course.
I think we can just open up a new issue because I think like this one is like done. It's done.
Actually, yeah, it's already merged, so
true. Okay, then let's make a
new
one.
I'll open.
Cool.
Could be a good first issue.
True. Okay, then let's take a look into the items that are in progress. The first one is about enhancement or improvement of the documentation. It's listing all installation options. Christian, and what's the status of that one?
The status is that I should inform Andreas that he should help me with reviewing it.
Okay.
Unless he already did that and I didn't see it. So yeah, I need to talk to Andreas about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Andreas has a lot of review tasks right now, but yeah, it's the case.
Yeah.
Because the same is true for my issue. I also need feedback from him. Yeah, in this meeting we discussed the Makefile and that there are one or more small changes required. And
we just said Andreas too often because he just joined. Hi, Andreas.
Hi. So
Hi.
my previous meeting finished early.
It's okay. We just blamed it all on you.
We were just discussing those two issues that are for documentation, and we would like to ask you for a review on that one.
So for the first one, if I can quickly follow up, I already did the review.
Then it's my fault.
Or at least I've extended the PR with one commit or something like this. And yeah, the second one is a little bit bigger. I need here more time.
No worries. Okay, then Anukul is working on that one. It's the include Bluetooth to automatically check for deprecated Kubernetes API versions. And then we have here one from, here, Anukul is working on that one and on that one too. All right, thanks. And Andy,
I've left both of them on in progress because there is some work still to be done, but they are basically almost done or already in review. So I'll move them when they are going to review.
Okay, thank you very much. And then we have two, there are two pull requests and issues for the Dynet SLI service. Has someone an update on those two issues?
The pull request is already approved by Florian, right?
So, yeah, I had a look through it yesterday. I saw that you also had some questions. Did they get answered already?
They already got answered, so I'm fine with merging. So I didn't have a look in the source code, but all my questions are answered.
Okay, perfect.
Is there one PR that covers both issues? Let's have a look.
This PR even covers more issues.
This one, increase test coverage, update documentation, feature flag, and reduce logging. Okay, it's approved. Yeah. Then I think we are ready to merge it by tomorrow, or let's have a final review.
Should we merge it even though the GitHub action failed? The review doc, or how is it called?
Yeah, review doc has some comments left on it, but I think the one that's failed is Sonar Cloud, and I think it's some duplicated code. Sonar Cloud is very strict, but it's not mandatory to pass, so we can merge it unless you want to improve on that Sonar Cloud issues. I mean, yeah. So Sonar keeps track of them anyway, so we can always fix them.
Cool. No, I will leave it as it is, and let's merge it by tomorrow. Then I will skip the assigned and committed issues because we already discussed them, and yeah, they are waiting for getting implemented. And I just want to jump over to the backlog itself. Here I have identified a minor issue, a minor bug issue in the bridge, because when I click on the Keptn API link, it forwards me to an endpoint that has a slash at the end, and this should not be the case because then I get a page not found. By removing this slash, everything works fine. I think it's a quick fix. And as we are touching this part, I would like to change the order of the links to have it then also nicely ordered, where we have the API, then the CLI, API, and CLI. All right.
So big shout out to the small feature. It's so convenient now to simply copy the auth command. Yeah, I use it daily.
Super convenient, true. Yeah. I think this is also a candidate for a good first issue because it's just removing the slash and changing the order of the link. Is someone out there who wants to work on that one?
If not, we should label it and leave it in the backlog because we have so many people asking for helping right now. I mean,
that's what I wanted to say. You could label it with good first or hackathon or some.
True. Yeah. Hacktoberfest.
Oh, there is no.
Quickly ship it out. Save it.
Just create it. Oh, it's the right color even. Like
yeah.
Cool. For October.
All right. Yeah. Then let's jump to the second issue that's related to the bridge. A little bit a bigger one, because what we want to provide the user is a new menu item, which is called integration. And when the user clicks on that menu item, he or she should get an explanation of how to use the CLI and how to use the API with all the instructions to download it and to authenticate, and then also to access the API. And further down, there's also an example how to use it, for example, to trigger quality gate. This is kind of static content. And then further down, there is a feature flag that says load more information about integrations. And here is then also more information about this feature flag, because what we want to build is a polling mechanism that loads content from a third-party tool into this UI, because we want to show them, the user, which custom integrations are available. And you can imagine that the list of integrations is growing and growing as more and more people are providing and building integrations, and we need the flexibility to customize this content. And this is also the reason why we want to dynamically load this part from the outside. And yeah, the feature flag is enabling, disabling this feature.
Yay, GDPR.
Yeah, true. We also need to be GDPR conform, and this means that we need to inform the user that at this part we are pulling information from somewhere else, and he or she can turn it off when it's not needed.
Is it enabled by default or is it disabled by default?
I have no opinion on that.
Well, I think it should be disabled if it's GDPR related, but yep. In the screen, it obviously looks like it's enabled, but maybe we should clarify that in the
issue.
In the issue itself.
I would have a question to Ermin. Is it by default enabled that we check for new versions? No.
No, you get a notification from the bottom if you haven't used the feature yet,
right.
Where you can opt in and opt out. And once you choose one option, then you can change it in the user menu in the top right.
Cool, thank you.
I think to be GDPR conform, we will disable it by default.
Yeah.
Because then the user has to take an action, and when he toggles the feature flag, then he agrees on doing that. All right, yeah, here are the tasks that need to be implemented for this issue, and also the content, the static content that should be provided right here, as well as the dynamic content that is then fetched and visualized.
Yeah, you can assign that one to me. Actually, I'm on, I plan to be on vacation next week, Monday and Tuesday, but I think I will have time for that one.
Cool, thank you very much.
Through the rest of the week.
Okay, well then we still have this meta issue that is for documentation. as there are a couple of things that need to be done before releasing 0.72. It's, yeah, improve the installation instruction for the Dynatrace service, then double check that the documentation does not contain distributors, as we move them in most, or for most of the services, we move them into the deployment of the service itself, so that it runs as a sidecar. And then here I want to point out that as we already discussed in this meeting, we should also update the screenshots for a bridge, especially for the download link, the enable disable version check feature, and as we saw today, the cool enhancements for the evaluation tile. This should also be reflected now by the documentation. All right, yeah. Should we keep it like that, or should we assign this issue to someone?
I mean, you can assign it to me if needed. I'll be release manager, so I can keep track of that and run to people if I need anything, or
Thank
do
you
it
very much.
if I can do it.
All right, thanks a lot. Then that is further down. Okay. Thanks for bringing in that one. It's, as we discussed in this meeting, the improvement of the bridge, where we want to show the true count of compared evaluations. In other words, use the count of, or use the length of the list, and then show it in the text or in the label. I agree. That's also a good first issue, and maybe relevant for the Hacktoberfest. I think we will leave it as it is.
Yeah.
What I was looking for was actually this issue, because today I got Christian Heckelmann pinged me that he has no time to work on this issue anymore, but he made good progress, even though he could not finish it. And this is the reason why I want to bring it now in the backlog again, also to show it to everyone who is joining this meeting that there is a feature available. It's for Prometheus, and the goal is to change the Prometheus service in a way to not install Prometheus as part of the service, but just to reference an already existing Prometheus installation. When you have knowledge about Prometheus, then please, and you want to work on that one, please leave a note there, and then we will assign you to that issue. All right, then last but not least, let's open the release checklist for 0.72. I think this will be the focus for the next days. Yeah. Christian, you will be the release master of the release.
Yeah, I'll be the release manager.
Okay, thanks a lot.
It's a better term.
Okay, yeah, the release manager, and as we do it as usual, the release manager is keeping an eye on the progress. But whenever someone has time left and wants to contribute also in the releasing process, please assign you to a task by just providing your Git handle there. And this means that you then reserved the task for yourself, and you are then responsible for doing all these things, like getting all pull requests merged, then cleaning up inactive branches and delete them. Also check the release notes, and maybe ask for his feedback, and also inform the release manager about the release notes, because the release manager will then be responsible for approving those. And when this is done, you can then trigger you can then create a release branch and also inform that the person or the release manager that the branch is created, and you are also taking into account the proper don't want to go through this list, just want to make a shout out. When someone wants to contribute in the releasing process, please feel free to show or to leave your Git handle there, and then you're welcome. Or we would like that you will then finish your task. All right, that's from my end. Has someone questions?
Just a note, if you're working on any of the issues, or if you plan to work on any of the issues, please always comment on the issue first and let us know, and wait for us to assign you. This is just to avoid that someone else also maybe thinks that they want to work on an issue, and then you have two people working on the same issue. It's like, yeah, wasted time if two people do the same issue. So just comment on the issue and we'll assign you. And also for the issues regarding CommunityBridge, please be aware they are kind of reserved. So we'll make a decision regarding the CommunityBridge mentees, and we'll let you know as soon as we can.
And what I figured out today is that it's not that it does not work when someone refers to someone else, like Christian did here for Anukul. Really, the person who wants to work on that issue needs to leave a comment there, so that I can then assign you the issue, because now it's not possible for me to assign this issue to Anukul.
Yeah, that's even though there is a pull request link that is made by Anukul. So I don't know what GitHub is thinking.
Yeah. Thanks. All right. Okay, we discussed the working in progress. We had a brief discussion about the release checklist, and we talked about the next sprint. I think we are good to go for the next week.
All right.
All right. Then thanks for joining this meeting. See you next Thursday at 5 p.m. and have a nice rest of your day.
All right.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
See you. Bye.
Right. Thanks everyone. Bye.
Thanks everyone for contributions. Bye-bye.